Good morning, everybody. This is Ryan Bailey, President and CEO of First Principle Group. At First Principle Group, we provide a unique gospel-centered approach to counseling, coaching, and training for the specific needs of each client. I work a ton with business leaders, whether I'm counseling, coaching, or training. Obviously, the training part's usually with leaders and their teams. And one of the things that we often are working on together is how to make the most of their time. And as leaders, we have many, many demands that come in, and we have many distractions that also come in. And sometimes it's just hard to stay focused. Sometimes we give into whatever is the urgent, whatever is the most kind of squeaky wheel, whether or not it's the most essential part of what we do or don't do. And oftentimes that can really limit our productivity, and that can hold us back from accomplishing what it is that God's called us to do. One of the things that you might want to do that I found, at least for me personally, extremely helpful was pick up the book Essentialism by Greg McKeown. We do a full day seminar on Essentialism that helps our clients get the meat of the book, but I highly recommend that you pick it up. One of the key principles that Greg McKeown talks about in his book is to identify what's the most essential part of your role, and then go all in there. Go all in and say no graciously to everything else. Now, that's easier said than done, right? So as a leader, often we're the ones that are being called on to resolve lots and lots of issues that may not be the most essential part of our role. A certain amount of that we probably have to do. There's nobody else that could do it. But then there's a bunch of it that we're probably saying that we're doing that we really should be avoiding doing because it's not going to benefit us or our team member. That probably would be better for somebody else to do. What you have to do is you have to be clear on what that is. So be clear on what's the most essential part of your role. Be clear on what you have to do. And then you want to either delete, delegate, diminish, or delay the rest of it. Because if not, it's going to eat up your time like crazy. One of the things that we do to kind of track how well we're doing with staying in the most essential part of our role is we use a Google Calendar, because it gives multiple colors to different tasks or appointments that we put on our calendar. And for the most essential part of our role on our team, we use Google's default color, which in my case is blue. I think that's probably everybody's case now that I'm thinking about it. But the blue on my calendar signifies that I'm in the most essential part of my role. So the most essential part of my role is to get to the heart of my client's concerns. And so that typically means that the blue represents sessions that I have, whether in coaching, counseling, or training, or consulting. And oftentimes it's also represented by, if I'm training, by the pre-work that I do to help my clients identify what's the most essential thing they're looking for from the training, and then building a customized training solution for that. And so for me, what I want to see on my calendar is lots and lots of blue. If I don't see tons and tons of blue, that's probably a sign that I'm getting distracted. On top of it, I try to track what's happening throughout the day. So if someone needs me to help them with something else, I'm glad to help. I want to help. I don't want to change that. I always want to keep some reserve time for that. And I would not say no to that, especially since it can build a relationship and help us to grow closer together, or especially if they're confused about something, and my spending a few minutes with them helps to clarify that, which pays dividends over the long haul as they really know what they need to do. The color on Google Calendar that we use for things that let's say only I can do, or only I can do, nobody else can do it on the team, and I can't outsource it, I have to do it, but it's not in my strike zone. I actually don't like it a lot of times, but as all of us have parts of our jobs, even if we love them like crazy, we have parts we don't like. That color is, for me, is red. and I try to see if I can limit the amount of red on the calendar to under 20% for the week. And if I can get it under 20%, that's like huge. That's fantastic. That means that I'm staying in my strike zone. And I find that for my corporate clients, that's much tougher for them to do, to get it under 20%, just because of how they feel pulled to do things by other leaders who are higher up than them. For my professional services leaders or owners of their firms, that's a little easier. They just have to start outsourcing more or hiring for other things, and so they can kind of control it a little bit better. But what people find is that the closer they get to that 20%, they literally tell me things like, Ryan, I feel like I'm in my strike zone all day long. And this is fantastic. I no longer feel like I'm just putting out fires all day long. I'm literally feeling like I'm actually building my practice. I'm growing what I'm doing. I'm improving things. I'm thinking more. I'm able to plan and strategize better. I'm able to do so much more than what I used to do. So think in terms of the concept of Essentialism by Greg McKeown. Highly recommend picking up the book again. See what you can go all in on and literally make that the focus of what you do. Have a way to track it. Google Calendar is the way we do it, just because we love that it provides kind of like one of my clients called it a heat map of his week. When he puts it in week view, he can see how much of his blue versus how much of his red he has, and that tells him what type of week he's going to have. And also, one of the other tips real fast as we're coming close to my office here is that if you see that you have too much red, look for ways that you can delete some of that red. You can diminish some of that red. So does it have to go to the full scope of what you believe that project has to do? See if you could delay it. So in other words, does it have to be done this week? Can it be done next week, or can it be done the week after? And then finally, see if you could delegate it out and try to get that under 20% again. If you can do that, the calendar heat map system works fantastic, because then you'll stay in your strike zone a heck of a lot longer. Hope this helps. Looking forward to next time. Take care. Bye-bye.